Hello everyone. I hope you can hear me because today it's quite noisy due to the cars. I'm gonna have a walk to the city and I realized, I use a lot of hashtags with MD and all these things, obviously for given reasons, and I have realized that I'm getting a lot of these videos about meds who quit their job or their residency, or they want to quit med school or just have it in their title because it looks nice, and it's also attention, like gets the attention of people. Yeah. So, and I was like thinking, oh, what kind of ridiculous problem? Kind of like it's a privileged problem. It's not a problem, and like I know that there's so many students out there who are just tearing their ass into two parts just to get into med school, and it's their biggest dream. They fight for it almost, and then there are privileged people like me, and I think it's almost like arrogant what I'm doing, who talk about why not to become a doctor, or what they think is boring or not that attractive about it. And yeah, I know that really some people are out there really giving their best, and it's a bit, because I'm seeing it now so many, like I see so many channels who really have the topic kind of dropping out of med or dropping out of residency, and I think, I'm not sure if this is now more visible because I'm on YouTube and I kind of get to see this and the algorithm shows me. Also, these topics are, if this was always the case, but just never so visible or in different forms. So for me now, and when I watch others, I sometimes think, oh, that's really privileged to say, but at the end of the day, I kind of have the same opinions, or I share the same thoughts, which are because I have options. Like, I don't have the fear of dying due to lack of food. I don't have the fear of necessarily losing comfort. Like, I have a comfortable home. I have a warm home. I have food. I cannot maybe afford myself right now luxury vacations, but this was never a need of mine. So basically everything I need, I just can afford it. And this is something, that's not given for everyone. I'm also, I have to say, really like I don't spend much on things where I think it's not worth it. If I'm like, oh, this coffee for whatever, how many pounds or coins or whatever, I'm not gonna do this because I know at home I can have a better coffee for a fraction of the price. So I'm this type of person at the same time who keeps care of their budget and just doesn't spend without having a proper reason. That's why I also maybe feel a bit comfortable in my position, since my expenses are so limited, to say I don't need much money to be happy or satisfied. I just want to do something meaningful that is beyond the scope of MD. So yeah, but at the same time also really judgmental about myself to be able to be in this position. And I think a lot of people now who are really listening to this think, oh my gosh, this girl is overthinking way too much and she should just make her mind. But yeah, I'm an overthinker, and I believe you need to overthink to be able to make up your mind, or at least generate new ideas and new thoughts to overthink about. It's a bit like a disease, honestly. If you do it too often, it really becomes harmful, because you start to see things in things that are not present. And I know I can do this and I really focus on not doing it. I focus on more like, I try to avoid the danger of overthinking, let's say, because I had this for a while, that also you focus so much on the negative stuff that it's just not helpful for yourself nor for anyone else. So I think being able moment, I wanted to buy something, so I'm not sure if I really want to buy it. I think I don't want to buy it. I want to invest a minor amount into buying a camera holder, especially when I do these records with the study with me sessions, that I can have a nice angle and all these and nice lighting. But I think I'm not there yet, or that's not my priority right now. Might become one, but it is reduced. And I like cheap stuff. I think we all do a bit. So I think I'm now gonna stop and go and get it. But really, this is now a moment where I'm like typical overthinking. To buy or not to buy, what are the benefits. Now I'm making like a huge calculation in my head about why it would be worth investing into this or not worth. Currently I am on the side of it's just not worth it. I also want to buy a water boiling cooking thingy, but I also don't want to spend too much, so I think this is not going to be now my priority. I have different priorities. But yeah, I'm someone who like really sometimes in the middle of the day stop just to get my arguments together and put them in order, because there are so many of them. Like I feel like sometimes in my head I have a personality disorder, and like there are like 30 or 40 people with different opinions talking about the same thing, and my goal is just to make up my own opinion within this crowd. Yes. So I was talking about kind of how privileged I'm in a position where I can say I want to become a doctor or not become a doctor, and don't even have to fear much about not finding a job. Like really, I know I'm an MD, but worst case I just do some random type of part-time jobs, and like get my coins together to live. And of course at one point you might think, oh, don't you want to have a family and all this? Obviously yes, and there are some doubts and fears about this, but I don't think you need to be financially 100% stable to start building up your family and all this, because you never know what the next day brings, and you could be any moment suddenly again financially unstable and have a kid. So I don't think that should be the limitation. Oh, they're taking down the Christmas lights. Let me show this, like how huge they are. So unfortunately the city is really closes early, like at 7 p.m. Some stores already, actually already at 6 or 6:30 p.m. And it's a bit of pity, because when you work until 5 or 6, you barely have time to go and really do your shopping, or just look around the stores and get an impression what's out there. The famous H&M. H&M really is like one of those brands that just give me comfort, like McDonald's. When I see it, I know I'm in an environment that I know and that is nice to be. Well, nice to be, it's relative, not necessarily nice to be, just a known environment. Because if you have an Asian dam, you also have different brands that you already know, and it's usually already a bigger city or something like this, so it gives you kind of comfort in knowing already what's around you. So I'm just about to arrive at my destination. Wish you all a good evening, and we'll see us probably during a study with me session soon.